I kind of want to get your take on something, sir. We talked about it a lot in the last episode. Um, and we were talking from a place of not having experienced it, but having observed certain things. Um, we finally had an opportunity to play Arc Raiders. I want
Yes,
to
yes.
have you give me your thoughts on like because I really want to break this down because we did talk about it like at some length before. Give me kind of what your thoughts were about Arc Raiders going into us testing it out, and give me your thoughts after and like sort of like how they've changed.
Okay, so in the beginning, I thought Arc Raiders would have been good. I thought it would have been a nice change to the extraction shooters that what we have now. Going into it, I was kind of hyped. We only, me and Adrian only played for 2 hours. I think it was like an hour and like 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
We only played for 2 hours. I think within like the first like what 4 matches, we literally didn't find anybody to like
yeah.
fucking like try to PvP to like see like what's going on. Like the fifth or sixth match or whatever it was, we run into people, and there's the PvP has got to be the worst thing about that game. Like like it feels good, it runs good on the PC that I have. I don't have like that beefy of a system, but it runs really well. Don't get me
It-
wrong. It's
it's a well
it's
optimized game.
yes, it's optimized really well for what it is. But it just seems like there's nothing to do. Like you're just running around looking for scraps basically. You're basically just falling or playing a fucking extraction version of Fallout, bro. Like it doesn't feel like you're making any progress on quests. For the PvP aspect, it is fun. The PvP was fun. My complaints was there was almost no feedback on whether you were like hitting your shots or if they had shields or not. It felt really weird. And then or on top of that, whenever you down somebody, you don't even know if they're downed or not. They just fucking slink off into the shadows like you physically don't know if they're dead. And then on top of not knowing if they're dead, the fact that everybody in the team like goes down is kind of weird, especially whenever you're like the last man on the team standing and you get absolutely obliterated, and then you're just crawling around fucking dick in the dirt, bro. It's weird. It like I
Yeah,
thought I thought it could have changed how the extraction shooters are, but it didn't stand up to my expectations like at all, sadly.
yeah. I mean, we share a lot of the same opinions. I'll try to play devil's advocate a little bit, and I think like because it was weird where it's like, well, me and my boy are just downed. It like in my mind, I do really like just my boy goes down, we're both dead, boom, immediately start loading us back to the lobby so we can get in a new game. I get that Arc Raiders allows down players to hit the extract to leave. So if you go down, if your friend is fighting, you can get out and save like your shit. Um, but when you're not around an extract, that feature kind of felt out of place. Where it's like, well, I mean, like you were doing that one time. It's like, well, all I really have to do in this situation is just turn on my mic and start talking shit to the person and just fucking down me. And I think because it did feel like I was accomplishing exactly nothing the entire time. Um, with what tasks we had to do, I enjoyed that. I mean, I'm a task merchant because of Tarkov. And maybe uh maybe we're comparing apples to oranges, and we're not necessarily comparing them, um, comparing Arc Raiders to an equal just because it's not in full release yet. Because maybe playing devil's advocate, it would feel better collecting this shit if we could have upgraded our workbench or like our gunsmithing table and that kind of stuff when we have stuff that we're collecting and like working towards. Because there was really only like 4 tasks that I did before. Like there was one where I was just like, I just for it being a server slam, I'm just not gonna go out of my way to like do everything. So I think maybe on full release, once if I can get a feel for what it's like in the game to actually be working towards a goal consistently, um, then maybe it would attract me more. But just on the basis of like what the overall game was, the audio, the gunplay, how easy it is to like find people. I
On the topic of audio, since you brought it up, audio
Yeah,
was pretty good in this game.
yeah. I think my only real complaint was in some of the high tier loot zones. I don't even know the name of the location, but it's like these like domes. They remind me of almost like a greenhouse, and there was like some like industrial lab production kind of shit in there. The footsteps on the metal were very loud and like echoey in there, which I get, but it was a little obnoxious just in my ears. But everything else sounded good. The guns sounded good. The robots, sounded good. There was maybe like some areas where it felt like gunshots were popping like in and out of range like too fast, where gunshots sounded really far away, and then I went 10 meters, and then all of a sudden they sounded right in front of me. Um, but overall, I mean,
Yeah,
it's got better
because
audio than like a Division 2 had before. They fixed that weird audio bug that we were experiencing for a while.
because me and Adrian, we were this was our first match whenever we were deciding to actually like look for PvP. We were on the front side of the dam. We wrap all the way around, and I'm over here like, this is sounding a little bit too far from like what I just heard.
Mm-hmm.
We got closer, and then we realized it was on the roof, so it just sounded just a lot further than what it needed to be.
Yeah, and I mean, oh fuck. one of the um one of the things that I said I was unsure about going into it was the ability to be a task rat and avoid enemies and do your own thing. I will say I was wrong about that. It is very easy to not see anyone, which I kind of see as a negative, to be honest. Um,
Yeah, because there was a good like hour that like we were playing and we just didn't see anybody. Like it got really boring really fast.
yeah, because I'm over here like I'm expecting this shit to be like Tarkov, right? Because that's my expectation going into it. Which framing it that way again, because Tarkov is a game that despite what Nikita will lead you to believe with it not being in 1.0 just yet, I mean, it's basically a full release game. Maybe it's
I
not fair
heard
to compare them.
I heard people compare um Arc Raiders to Vigor. I don't know if you
Mm,
can see that, but I really can.
yeah, I can actually see that a lot because Vigor's one of those games that like when you're out of it, you're out of it. Like it just feels like a walking simulator. Um, Although I will say Arc Raiders like you know is significantly better in a lot of areas than Vigor, but just in the overall experience, I guess I'd say it's very similar. Like if Vigor brought in like very minimal AI that wanders, I could see it because going into it, like I was saying with the Tarkov comparison, I feel like in Tarkov, some shit normally always goes down. You're not always gonna see people, but maybe you'll run into like that sniper scav. You'll run into that like random group of 5 scavs that spawns in the middle of the street, and there's nothing really like that got your, heart racing even a little bit. There's like no real excitement. I'm just literally collecting fucking plastic and chemicals and a bunch of shit. And then it gets to a point where I'm like, oh, there's 8 minutes left. We should probably leave, you know? And then we're just like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
like
I guess
it
we'll bail.
it definitely feels like other than the clankers basically. Other than the robots, there's really like nothing else to do. Even like the robots are like really easily killed if you aim for like the motors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're and like don't get me wrong, I definitely feel like players are gonna be like the biggest hurdle to get over. But it just feels like you can easily do what you need to do. Like say you need to get 1,400 placids or whatever, basically from like
Yeah.
Warframe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can shoot down a few robots and you can just extract right there. There's really no what am I trying to
Like
fucking
payoff.
think of? No. There's no like I don't want to say like opposition,
Oh, there's no
but
like I know what you're trying to say. There's nothing that's like there's no inconveniences. There's nothing that's getting in your way of
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
stopping you.
yeah,
Because like
yeah.
with Tarkov, like yeah, in the grand scheme of things, scavs ain't shit. But every couple of raids, you'll run into that scav. That the moment you look at it and you haven't even aimed down your sights, it blacked your arm or blacked your leg, and now that's going to affect your raid
Mhm.
going forward. And there's nothing like that with these robots aside from like literally our first match where I didn't know what the robot was. I didn't know it was like gonna catch aggro on me, and I just got fucking obliterated. But that's just me being an idiot, more than anything. Um, I do like the comparison to Vigor though. I
Yeah, I thought it fit it really well because it really did feel like Vigor if it had AI.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously there's collecting resources and stuff in Vigor, and I would say that doing that feels a lot more like Tarkov than um, or feels a lot more like Arc Raiders than Tarkov because that is one of
Mhm.
those games where there is stuff to upgrade, but a lot of the times it's like what like okay, I came into this mission with this fucking dope ass kit, all to collect some food, some gasoline, some wires, and like a couple gun parts, and it's like okay, like for what am I gonna like? How many times am I gonna do this tonight? Whereas with Tarkov,
And
go ahead.
and then I was gonna say like on top of like you grabbing everything you needed, your little fucking rooster buddy was making shit way too fast.
Yeah, it basically felt like I didn't have to because the amount of stuff this dude was turning out, like he must have had some motherfuckers in the back helping him, bro.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I think they got to slow his little ass down. Or maybe change the kind of stuff he gives you. Like maybe he just generates like random like weapon parts, and he does it at a slower rate or something. Um, because I felt like I didn't check him for like half an hour and he was already like half full. And like that's
Mhm.
crazy because I was seeing what you need to build stuff and upgrade things, and I'm like, I could literally just if I'm good at the game and I'm clicking on heads and I'm a PvP demon, I don't have to loot any materials. I can just get them from old boy and I can just take people's shit.
Mhm. On
Um,
top or on the topic of like taking people's shit, with how much stuff you get in that game, stash feels way too small.
yeah, that was the big thing I noticed immediately. If you're gonna have
Like
a game,
they start you out with like so much stuff that by the time from like your third raid, like your shit's full. You gotta pay 5-10K to get more. Like what was it, like 12 stash slots? Like it was
mm,
very minimal for what you had to like pay for.
yeah, I think it was like 24, but compared to what they start you with, it's like if you're gonna give me the ability to stash shit, I need the ability to hoard. I need the ability
Mhm.
to have an obscene amount of shit. And those moments where the game is getting in the way of me being able to collect what I want to collect, that kind of just takes me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Granted, like I have upgraded stash with my addition in Tarkov. I've paid for additional lines. So maybe I am just used to that. And again, like I said, maybe I'm drawing too many comparisons to Tarkov. Maybe I'm comparing two games that shouldn't be alike. But I feel like if Arc Raiders wants to succeed, they need to be able to be compared to a game like Tarkov, because Tarkov is the extraction shooter. If Arc Raiders wants to survive, they gotta like Arc Raiders is the battlefield to Tarkov's Call of Duty in this situation. And if they want to survive
Of
and not,
course, it all fucking goes back to COD with your ass, bro.
I mean, it's a good comparison. It's a good comparison. Um,
That's like comparing.
exactly, exactly.
No, 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 no. It's like you're comparing vigor to what was
DMZ.
Battlefield's. Yeah, basically, yeah, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I
It-
mean,
it-
they're different.
like,
They
like,
are
like,
different.
like, like, like they're on like two separate fucking areas of the spectrum, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I did see some people in Peanuts chat kind of agreeing with us on points where it's like this game is fucking boring. But again, like maybe in the full
I mean,
release when there's more stuff to do.
he was paid to play that, so of course he's gonna have good stuff to say about it.
Oh yeah. Which I mean, I for times I've heard him say that he was genuinely excited for it and he was genuinely enjoying it in the lead up to the server slam. I'll take his word for it. Like I don't think he has any reason to lie when he's not getting paid to do so, because it's not like these companies wouldn't give him the money regardless to do that, because he's a popular streamer. But um yeah, I mean I'm gonna give it another shot. I'm not writing it off just yet. But I mean I don't I mean, just to go back to what we were saying, I don't see this game really surviving. Nothing about what I saw, what I experienced, what I felt really changed my opinion on this game um
Yeah,
dying.
I really don't see it surviving like more than a year.
Yeah, because I mean, well, if it's a year, because I was gonna say I don't know, because you have a more negative opinion about Tarkov and Nikita than I do, but 1.0 and Arc Raiders come out, around the same time. I don't see Arc Raiders outlasting Tarkov, which again, granted, Tarkov has a ingrained fan base. I get that, but there are a lot of reasons that people don't
That's
like Tarkov
because
right now.
Nikita has abused us for years.
Yeah,
He has slapped his schmeat on our heads and told us to fucking take it like good boys, bro.
yeah,
Like this dude is the absolute fucking worst at what he does, bro.
yeah. Which again is kind of where my comparison Battlefield Call of Duty comes in, because you have like SBMM, all this shit where they're not listening to what the player wants and they're just instituting changes purely for their like based on their own desires and not based on what the fan base wants. And then you got this new attractive product coming in Battlefield 6, and ultimately we're going to have to wait and see what that, once their competition comes out, once their competitor comes out, how it's going to impact their numbers, and if any of what your favorite content creators have been telling you, any of what um developers, ex Call of Duty devs have been saying about Battlefield. Like at a certain point, we're gonna have numbers and we're gonna have hard data that's gonna tell us one way or the other if any of it even means anything. And that's the situation that Arc Raiders is in, where they're gonna have to beat out their, or not even beat out their competition, but they're gonna have to take people from their competition. They are going to have to prove to the people who are fed up with Tarkov and fed up with Nikita that we are the place that you can go now. And ultimately, I think that's what's gonna make or break them. Um, and you know, do I have confidence in them being able to do that right now? Not really. But like I said, I'm leaving my mind open to being proven wrong. So
Yeah, I don't see it surviving at least a year, sadly. Like it could, but I feel like it's gonna flop like really bad.
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. At the end of the day, right? I might be a doom and gloom guy on some things, but like I don't want to see these games die. I like having the ability to say, you know what, I like the extraction shooter experience. I don't have to go to this game that I have this love hate relationship with. I don't have to go with this game that every time I play it, it reminds me of like some bullshit Nikita did, the bullshit that happened in the last wipe with them, like hardcore, all that shit. It would be nice to get the same kick from somewhere else. Um, but it remains to be seen if it's even possible for a different game to give the same sort of feeling as Tarkov does. Because DMZ was just fucking boring. DMZ was boring too.
DMZ had to have been like the worst shit
Yeah,
to ever come out of Call of Duty.
I would put console vigor over DMZ.
I'd put PC fucking vigor over DMZ, bro.
I don't know about that. We literally played 3 matches and got hackers in each one and fucking uninstalled it. I at least could play
I don't
DMZ a
give a shit.
little bit.
The only reason why we played DMZ is so we could get free shit from each other, bro.
That is true. We were trying to unlock the M13. That is true.